Melanie's with us in Wichita, Kansas. Hi, Melanie. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
Well, my husband and I are in week 3 of the FPU. And last night we sat down and we did the allocated spending plan. We had everything set out for the month to where every one of our dollars was assigned to something.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he had made a bet with some buddies at work, and he lost the bet. And this morning, without saying anything to me, he got paid today. He took $100 out of our account.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I don't even know how to address this with him or even where to get the money to get us back onto track.
Mm-hmm.
So what are your suggestions?
Okay. So why did he not tell you about this when you were putting the budget together last night?
Well, we've known about it, and I told him...
You what about it?
I knew about the bet.
Okay.
But I told him that if he wanted to pay the guy back, he needed to take it out of his blow money, not out of the rest of the budget.
Right. And so how much is in his blow money?
We do $18 a week.
Okay. Well, he owes the guy $100. That was a dumb idea.
Yes, it was.
Because you can't give a guy $100 when you only have 18, so you didn't have a solution.
Right.
The guy doesn't want $18 a month. Your husband's word is on the line. He owes him $100. So $100 should have been in your budget last night.
Okay.
So he did address it. He didn't lie to you. You just didn't have a reasonable solution. And so he honored up and paid his bill when it was due this morning. So $18 blow money's gone for sure. That's 18 of it. Now we got to find the other 82, and
right.
You guys got to wander through the budget and do that tonight. So, number one, when you know something's in front of you, don't pretend like it's not there, and that'll be helpful for the future. Number two, he has to understand that you felt like you guys had a contract. And just like he felt like he gave that guy his word, he also gave you his word last night. And so now you feel like he kept his word to that guy but lied to you. And he needs to feel that. You had a contract last night. He broke the contract this morning, right?
Right.
And he didn't feel that. And that pissed you off, and I don't blame you. Okay? So you guys, that's the point. When we agree on something on this paper, it's a pinky swear and a spit shake, and we do not change it without both of us coming back and agreeing to change it. And so what he should have done when he left the table last night, he should have already had the $100 worked out, and you should have too, in the budget, so that the guy was paid what he was owed the next day. And don't make any more stupid bets at work. You're trying to get out of debt. Now, then that's what y'all should have done. But if that didn't happen, then when he got there this morning and felt the pressure to pay the bill that he owed, to keep his word, he should have picked up the phone and called you and said, hey, we got a contract, but I also got a contract over here. We got to work this out. I'm not okay with us doing this $18 every paycheck or something. I need to pay this guy, and we need to work it out. And y'all talk it through on the phone and adjust the contract. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Kind of like if you get to the grocery store or you get to the gas station and there's no gas in the envelope. You got to get home because y'all screwed up your budget, right? Then you got to call him and go, I got to get home, so I'm taking a little bit out of our food money because I got to get some gas money in the car, and we got to adjust the budget tonight. And I wanted to tell you ahead of time so you don't feel like I broke my word to you when we get home tonight. Because that budget becomes a contract where you all trust each other that we're joining hands and walking out of this. And that's why you're calling me, because that made you mad when he broke his word, right?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, I don't blame you. But y'all set it up to where you put him in a box, and he's going to break his word to somebody this morning. It was just a matter of who. And I don't like what he did, but I also don't like what y'all did last night that put him in a box where he didn't have choices. So if y'all had handled it last night, it wouldn't have been there, because he knew he was going to face this morning when he got to work. He knew he had to look at that guy and go, I owe the guy $100. Now, am I going to welch on the bet? No, you're not going to do that. You're going to pay your bill. And because that's what guys do when we do stuff like this. And that, it may be too, Melanie. What I'm describing may be a kind of a guy thing. I don't know if ladies act that way or not. But when two guys make a deal like that, it's like a blood oath, you know. And his honor was on the line this morning. Is where y'all put him. You follow me? So yeah. I'm not taking up for him because he dissed you in the process, but you got to understand he was under extreme guy pressure. Honor, his integrity was on the line, and that's why he did that. He might not have done it if it was something else. He might not have done it if he's just buying himself a candy bar or buying himself something for $100. He might not have done it. But the good news is you guys get to learn this real early in your budgeting together process, which this is your first day doing it, your first week doing it. And you get to have a really good, healthy discussion without you yelling at him or something like that. But this is, honey, you got to understand, this is like you lied to me. That's how it feels. And you're not a liar. And that's why I'm so upset. This is like a contract here. We both initial it. Hey, I'll tell you, Melanie, Sharon and I had so many of those fights. We about killed each other. We got to where we had to initial the corner of the budget like it was a contract because we wanted to make have emotional surety that we both understood how serious sticking to our word was. And I have been on the phone standing in Sam's Club going, honey, there's something on sale here I'd like to get. It's not like I'm a wuss and I have to ask my wife permission to go to the bathroom or something. That's not the case. But I had made a promise to my wife called a budget. And I wasn't going to break my promise to my wife. And so I call her and I go, hey, I'm going to be $10 over. I'd like to take that out of this other category. Is that cool? She says yes. Boom. We have a budget. We have an amendment to the contract. The contract has now been amended. And now we buy the thing at Sam's Club and we come home smiling and everybody's okay. But I did not just come home and go, look what I did, which I used to do. And that's just disastrous right there. So, yeah, this is really tense day for you. It's been hard on him emotionally too because he had to decide who he was going to break his word to if he understood that he gave his word last night. But after tonight he'll understand if you explain it to him clearly that this budget is a contract between the two of you. And when you start treating it that way, man, you guys are going to do so good. You're gonna call me back going, this changed my marriage. This changed our communication level. It changed how we look at the future. It changed our view on everything. I mean, it's amazing. Marriage counselors use this very budget technique to cause couples to work together on life when they're struggling at getting along because it creates unity. Because when you agree on your spending and you keep your word to each other and you communicate heavily, you're agreeing on your life. And so I completely understand why you're upset, and I would be upset if I were in your shoes too. But understand you put him, the two of you, his not dealing with it last night's wimpy on his part. But the two of you boxed him into a corner last night, and this morning he walked right through the paint. He painted into the corner, and he took his wet shoes right through the middle of it. And that's what's happened here. So I'm really glad it's only $100, and I'm really glad you knew about it ahead of time, sorta. And I'm really glad that you're ticked about it, and you guys are going to have a good discussion about it because this is going to be a thing you point back to 10 years later, and you go, that was the day, that was the week we changed our life right there. So this is going to be great as long as y'all talk it through and come to solid agreement on this is a contract from this point forward. Very cool stuff. Good call. Good call. That's normal stuff happening there. And this is how you work through it. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, click the subscribe button to get the latest content and check out these other great clips from the show. Julia is with us in Sacramento. Hi, Julia. How are you?
Hi, good. How are you? It's a pleasure.
Same here. How can we help?
My mom recently purchased a timeshare in Mexico, and she paid cash for it.
Gross.
She reached out to me and asked me to give her my ID and my birth certificate for the notary. She wants to modify her trust.
No! I don't want a timeshare. It's legalized fraud. You're going to get, this is not a blessing. This is a curse. Why would a loving mother do this to her daughter? Because she still thinks it's a good deal. She got screwed. No, we don't need to pass this on. This is not an heirloom.
Yeah, she thinks it's a good deal.
It's not a good deal. It's a horrible deal. There are no good timeshares. They suck, 100% of them. It is one of the worst products ever put out by man. I hope I wasn't unclear.
Yeah, you were very clear. So
I thought so as well. In my ear, he was clear. Don't make him say no a third time, Julia.
Yeah, just lovingly, kindly. Mom, I'm not interested in the timeshare. Thank you, though.
Okay.
I think they're a really bad deal, and I'm really sorry you bought one, Mom. And I think you're going to regret it, and I'd never, ever, ever, ever want it in my name. No, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. No. I also don't want your dog to bite me. You know, this is like, these are, let me tell you, there's a 97% dissatisfaction rate with timeshare owners. There's no other product out there in the world that has a 97% dissatisfaction rate. People that buy them hate them. They're a complete screw job. Your poor, precious mother got screwed over and hasn't realized it yet, and she's trying to pass that on as an heirloom. No, please, no, 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 no. See, I lowered the volume for those notes. Just for you, Ken.
Believe me, we all appreciate it.
Just for you. Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
I've racked up about $156,000 in business debt, and I've kind of been contemplating bankruptcy, and I didn't know if maybe you thought I should or maybe had other advice or options.
Wow. I'm sorry. It's scary, isn't it?
Yeah.
Are you married?
No.
Okay. How old are you?
25.
Okay. And what do you owe the business debt on? What kind of debt is this? Credit cards or vendors? Or
so about $30,500 is vendors. $55,000 is I was dumb and took out a merchant cash advance. And then I owe my parents like $65,000.
Okay.
And then another vendor, $7,250.
$7,250.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. And what kind of business is this, or was it?
I sell cabinets and countertops.
Okay. All right. And so a merchant advance on what?
Yeah. So my future revenue. Basically, I gave them my bank statements, and then they said, "We'll give you this much," and it was like a daily payment. And then last year in 2024, I had a very slow time, and it pretty much just took me for everything I had.
Yeah, that one got you. It's a payday lender of your world, yeah. Because the interest rates also ridiculous, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And so, what method do they have access to your current checking account? Is that how they clean you out ever so often?
They were. I've since put stop payments on them, and I was working with am technically still working with a consolidation agency, but that cost is like $1,200 a week, which I can kind of do, but it's hard to manage that. And every time I miss a payment, they're threatening to cancel the program, and it's non-refundable, and it's still another $28,000 I have to pay into it before they'll negotiate with them. And
yeah, I think you stopped that immediately too. You jumped from the frying pan into the fire, didn't you?
Yeah. I panicked, and I did all that before I'd kind of talked to anyone about it. Now, pretty much my whole family knows, and I've been a little more open lately, so I've been getting some more advice. Yeah.
Okay, so if you didn't have this mess, did you do all this because you weren't making money?
No, I was doing pretty well, and then I took a pretty sizable loss on a job, and I also got a little full of myself after like a really good 4-month stretch. Mm-hmm. And I fell behind on my bookkeeping, which, looking back, that was kind of the debt. That was like my detriment to it all.
You did a really good job in 2 sentences describing what happened, because that's exactly what happened. I can smell it. You're really on top of that. That's very well done. You weren't doing your books. One job, you got out too far over your skis on, and they set you up for a fall, and you were feeling invincible. Those 3 things together put you here. I believe you. That's well done. Congratulations. Most people aren't that self-aware when they're in this much pain. Well done. Proud of you. We work with entrepreneurs and have for years. I've been bankrupt when I was your age, so I know exactly how it feels to be where you are. So the way we fix this is we take the things that are working and we apply them in a forced rank order of importance. Bankruptcy's not going to solve it, because you can't bankrupt mom and dad. You can legally, but you're not going to. Right. You're going to pay them.
No.
So half of this almost is one thing, and it's them. Okay?
Yes.
So the rest of it is $90,000 worth of stuff. How quick can we make that? Now, let's pretend that you were just operating properly. You weren't out over your skis. You weren't taking jobs that could take you down. You weren't and you weren't borrowing any money. What can you make in this business? What kind of profit in a year can you make if you just started fresh?
So last year I did about $400,000 of revenue.
Right.
And I have my margins are right around 31%.
Okay, so you can make $100,000 a year, and you have a $90,000 problem.
Sir. Yes.
Because mom and dad aren't pressuring you.
No, but
okay. You want to pay them, but they can be at the end of the list, and that's okay.
Yes.
Okay. So now here's an idea.
Nice as well.
What vendors do you have to pay to keep supplies coming to keep the business open? What dollar amount does that represent?
Pretty much the
$37,000.
Not entirely.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Half of that.
14, 17,
yeah.
About 20.
Gotcha. Okay.
About 20,000.
You need to get on the phone with them first, and we need to get on a program with them where we're going to clear them first, and in return, they're going to keep sending you supplies COD.
Yeah, I've been paying them. It was a large.
No, listen, I'm giving you a program. I'm not asking for the story now. I'm telling you what to do. Okay. Get on the phone with them and set up a program to pay $37,500 plus your new material needs going forward out of your 100. It's the first thing you do. The merchant people, tell them they're not getting paid, maybe ever, but they're certainly not getting paid right now. You're going to sit on the sidelines, and we're going to settle up later. If you want to sue me. But I don't have any money, and if you sue me, I'm going to file bankruptcy, and you're going to get nothing. So you need to just sit over there until I can get this thing cleaned up, and then I'm going to come pay you off. Okay? You have a conversation with them, but you give them no more money and no more access to your business. You go make $100 a year, $120 a year. You clean up your vendors first, and then you keep the cash flow running. You keep your books up to date, and then you call them. Then you save up $30,000, and you call the merchant people that you owe $55 to, and you settle with them for pennies on the dollar. Then you go pay mom and dad the next year.
Right.
You're out of debt. I just got you out of debt in 3 years.
Sounds good to me.
It's doable. What I just described is very doable. I've done it 1,000 times. Now the trick is you got to believe it, and you got to be tough enough to run off these people that have been scaring the crap out of you. They've been running your life emotionally. They live in your head rent-free. Can you tell I've been there?
Yes, for sure.
It's no fun. And you feel like, they're saying you're not a good guy, and you're a good guy that made a mistake. You're not an evil person. You didn't set up a business to go screw somebody.
Right.
You're just a young guy that made some mistakes, and now you got to go clean up your mistakes. You can file bankruptcy if you want, dude. But you're still going to have to pay your parents, and you did all of it over $90,000 that I just settled for somewhere around 50. And you shouldn't file bankruptcy when you have the ability to make 120 a year. Not morally, but I mean, mechanically shouldn't file bankruptcy when you got the ability to make 120 a year and 50 grand cleans up your mess. Because you're going to pay the 37.
Okay.
You're going to pay the 37,000 worth of vendors because you got to keep them in your life. The other people you're going to settle for 50 cents on the dollar, and then you're going to call mom and dad and pay them as quick as you can, and never borrow money again from anyone, not even your parents. Have you learned your lesson?
Yes. Yeah.
You can do this, Garrett. You can really do this. I promise you can. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, it's the master class on when we get scared, man. We go to fight or flight. We stop thinking, and sometimes it just takes someone to sit down and say, "Hey, here's a plan.
Here's the forest. Here's the trees."
Yeah. Don't
And
burn everything
I'm
down.
I'm lost in the woods. We don't have to burn the forest.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Just got to cut that 2 trees over there, and then we can get out.
And then, but you got to keep walking.
Yeah, just keep moving. And the good news about this guy is he's really smart because he quickly self-analyzed. Very unusual. Very unusual. Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life. Brought to you by Xander Insurance. Compare rates from top term life insurance companies in seconds at Xander.com.
Okay, so my girlfriend and I have been dating for 4 months now, and things are going well. However, I do have a concern about the fact that she financially supports her parents, and I wonder the best way to approach the situation.
With caution. So 4 months in, when you say support, what does that mean?
Yeah, so she's in a household with her brother and her parents. They immigrated to the States about 2 years ago, and her parents are retired. So her brother and she split the cost of the household.
Okay, so they're paying everything. They're paying for rent.
How old is mom and dad?
They're in their early 60s, but they're retired, yeah.
Why are they retired?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
I have not asked her that.
Where'd they immigrate from?
Yeah.
They're from Honduras.
Okay.
The family situation that you're describing is more common in Latino families than it is in Black Americans or white Americans. So generally, we tend to throw everybody out of the house. in the world I come from, you're 18, boy. What are you still doing here? And but in Hispanic families, they tend to. It's much more culturally expected that we stay together and that you take care of mom and dad. But so you're looking at it through the same set of eyes, John, that Jade and I would be looking at it through, but that's a cultural difference. Legitimate cultural difference. So, but in our world, what we would say is, well, they're 60 years old, get a job and support yourself. Why are you got your little kid taking care of you? And now she can't, her potential husband's going to run off because he didn't want to adopt the whole bunch. He just wanted the girl. That's the way you and I look at it. But mom and dad need to get a job.
Does she live? She lives in the house where she's taking care of them?
Yeah.
My question, if I were in your shoes, my question for her would be, when you move out, when the day comes when you're married, or when you're on your own, do you still feel that you would be the one that's going to pay their bills? That would be my question. And that's going to tell you all you need to know.
Yeah. I only recommend term life insurance because it's simple, affordable coverage. And you should get it only from Xander Insurance because they work for you, not the insurance companies. Xander compares all the top term plans to save you money so you don't get ripped off with insurance that they market like a so-called investment. Term from Xander is the only life insurance I would get from my family. It's all I've ever bought and all I've ever recommended. Go to Xander.com or call 800-356-4282.
Do you still feel that you would be the one that's going to pay their bills? That would be my question. And that's going to tell you all you need to know.
Yeah. And I got to tell you, I think the answer is yes. I think she's going to want to continue to support them because I think they expect her to. And not because they're bums, but because that is a legitimate cultural difference. Okay?
But we've had some conversations about that.
What'd she say?
She said that they kind of have a pact where once the daughter and son move out, that they're still going to continue to support them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the good news is you're only 4 months in. Listen,
if that's what you want to sign up for, you know what you're signing up for. But, and I'm telling you, if she were to not do that, it would be the way that the culture she's grown up in, the way she's going to feel like she's morally doing something wrong if she does not support them. Okay? And to her defense, okay, again, the chances that Rachel or Denise feels like they need to take care of Sharon and me is 0. Mm-hmm. 0. Even if we were completely broke, they would just be going, hope it works out for you.
Yeah.
It's just like, but, and so, I mean, they would be sweet. They bring us some groceries or something, but the chances that they're just going to write checks every month, no, because that's the culture.
Plus, though. I think that's if she comes to the conclusion that, I just want to go out and live my own life. I don't want to feel like I am chained to this. I feel like that's a conclusion she's going to have to come to on her own versus you trying to persuade her of that.
Yeah, we leave our family and cleave and set up our own household is a Puritan work ethic. It's an Anglo-Saxon Protestant mentality that leave and cleave. And preachers will tell you, leave your family, go set up your own household. And I believe in that, but I'm just telling you, she doesn't. And so you have a you're asking someone to go against everything they've been taught their whole life.
Yeah, that's tough.
For her to walk away from that. And it's going to be very, very difficult. So it would require that, now, I personally think it'd be better for mom and dad if they had the dignity to go get the jobs. They're only 60 years old. Mm-hmm, and crap, I'm 64. I work. So, I mean, it's not killing me. So I mean, you can go do something, really, and support yourself. But I think it'd be better for everyone to adopt that mentality. But we've done enough work in the Hispanic community to have respect for that. Because, like, Jade, one of the things I discovered when I first started messing around with it, trying to understand the differences and what was driving some of these decisions. So I'm like, the daughter is like 24 years old and she's making $100,000 a year or whatever, and she lives with her parents. And I'm like, why do you live with your parents? You go get an apartment and like have a life. Well, that's considered as immoral, as if she was promiscuous. If she leaves her parents' home and is not married, it's considered by certain segments of that community a vida loca.
Yeah,
and so it's you're going crazy, and you're out here partying, and you're screwing around and everything else. And she's not, but that's just how that's viewed as an immoral act on a young lady's part to do that. Now, young men would be encouraged to go on and do their own thing, but again, that's a difference. Where in an Anglo-Saxon world or the African American world, we're like, child, go get you an apartment, get out of my house,
get out,
and go get you a life and finish your development and so forth. So, John, that's what you're up against legitimately. And I'm speaking in her defense, but I'm probably not helping your quandary because I'm probably making it deeper.
Yeah.
I think you got a serious values conflict here that you guys are going to struggle with. If she quits taking care of them, she's going to struggle with it. If she doesn't and you go forward, you're going to struggle with it. So you got an issue here that's maybe a deal breaker.
Yeah, that's why I said what I said, because if you, and I think you can bring it up and you do bring it up, but if you get into the business of trying to convince her otherwise, if she starts to feel any guilt, that can very easily turn into bitterness towards you. Yep, right. That's right.
That's exactly right. Good observation.
It's tough. That's a tough one.
Hey, it's good, but he brings up a good point that this is, and you said we're only 4 months in. That's good. It's a good, talk about these things, people. Don't think you're going to change somebody after you get them married. That's for God. We know that's not going to work.
I know that's right.
And, let's just know what we're getting into, because the number one cause of divorce, money fights and money problems, and they're over value systems and principles like we're talking about. Like my family always bought brand new cars, so you're going to buy me a brand new car. Don't think so, chick. No, not happening. You need to know that before we talk about getting married, right?
Right.
You need to know what you're getting into. Well, what are we signing up for here? What's this going to look like? If anyone depends on your income, you need affordable term life. Never cash value insurance. Visit Xander.com today for quotes. Ashley is with us in Dallas. Hi, Ashley. How are you?
Hi, I'm okay. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up, kiddo?
Good, thank you. I am calling. I'm going to try to keep this as clear as I can. I'm in a bit of a complicated situation. But I just found out that about 3 weeks ago that I am expecting a child.
Yay!
This would be my first. Thank you. However, it is the person that that would be the father would be my ex-husband, and I'm not sure at this moment if he will be around. It's he's being very unclear about that.
Well, apparently he was around recently.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. But I mean, he says that I'm not getting that he's opposed to it. He says he's okay with it. At the same time, he's not really talking to me.
How old are you two?
I'm just confused. I am 34. He is 42.
Does he have a job?
Does he have a job? Yes.
Do you have other children from the marriage?
No.
Okay. Right.
No.
How long have you been divorced?
Have any kids. About 3.5 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how much do you make a year, honey?
Me, well, I have a disability, so I'm doing like maybe $17,000 before taxes a year because I can't really work too much.
What is the nature of your disability?
So I have multiple sclerosis, so I have some mobility issues and vision a little bit. Just kind of a myriad of things.
Mm-hmm. You got family in the area?
I have my adopted mom. She's kind of close-ish. She's about an hour away from me. So that's all I really have in that regard. But I'm just kind of lost because I don't know how to prepare for this financially. I understand I'm going to probably need to change some things living situation-wise because I live in a very small apartment that's only 324 square feet. I have a very small car. It's like a smart car. And I just got told it probably will need a new engine. So I'm going to have to replace that. And I just don't know how I'm going to do all of this financial-wise, especially with the rent being like it is and the car prices being the way that they are. I just don't know how I'm going to do this and prepare for this child financially, especially if I may have to do it alone. Okay. So, and I don't really know exactly yet, but I'm trying to plan.
There's so much going on here. I'm so sorry. That's a scary situation you find yourself in. Okay, so what I would tell my best friend, if they called and told me the exact thing you told me, is I would tell them that you need to get people in your corner as much as possible. That's why I was asking about friend or family. I would definitely start working on the career side of your equation. Find something that you're able to do that makes a lot more money that is within the tolerance of your MS. MS is, as I understand it, is aggravated by stress, so you can't be in a high stress scenario, but you're getting ready to be in a stressful financial situation if you don't create some more income. So you're going to have to create some more income. I would do you belong to, or have you visited, or are you aware of a local church in your area that you respect?
Well, I've been going to a church online.
Which one?
It's not really in my area.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's in Oklahoma. But I know of one that's in the area that I could, get connected with.
Yeah. I want you to get connected so you've got emotional support and when they know what you're going through, maybe even some financial support temporarily while you get your income up and you make a transition to different living and different vehicle. But don't do any of it with debt, because that's going to bring you down further. We got to get your income up and make these moves.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you're going to have some people around you that are walking with you and are supporting you. Emotionally, financially, relationally, everything, because you're kind of by yourself out here on a limb and you're scared.
Right. Yeah. That's exactly what I feel right now. I feel like I was, I'm almost basically out of debt.
Mm-hmm.
I only have like $150 left on a medical loan. My student loan was discharged, so that's another thing that is kind of hindering me on the income side. But
that's good. Well, it can still be discharged. You've been declared permanently disabled. The student loan is gone. It doesn't come back. If you go get a job, it doesn't come back. And so you've got the rest of your life to live and create an income, and $17,000 isn't a good life. So we need to work on this income side of the equation, long term, for you and for the baby. Lastly, while you're at that church, ask the folks there if there is an attorney there that could give you some advice. I'm not an expert on the law in Texas, but in most states, your ex-husband is going to be responsible for child support, whether he wants to be involved or not, legally. In most states, a percentage of his income will go to raise the child that he caused to come into the world. And I don't really care whether he likes it or not. I'm not really taking a poll here of his feelings. I'm worried about one thing, and that's the child.
Yeah. No, thank you. I appreciate that, because I was like, I don't know what my rights are, since, this is new, and
I'm not sure what your rights are either, but I suspect you're due child support. That's my suspicion.
Yeah.
And so I would, and I think you're probably going to have to get someone to help you, at least coach you a little bit on the legal side, so you can have this discussion with him and he can do this voluntarily, or we'll have a judge instruct him to do it, whichever he prefers.
Yeah. I hope that we can work that out. But no, thank you.
Yeah. And I think you, here's what I think I'm saying. I think if you have some family support, some community and church support, and some money coming from the father, and you start to adjust your income and your living situation and your car situation, by the time you make all those adjustments, this is all going to be okay. But you're going to need all of those things bringing to bear on the problem.
Yeah. I'm so sorry you're going through this, Ashley. Let us know if we can help down the line as you sort through this and figure out what the next steps are, but that's a real tough thing to be walking through, and you've got to have those people in your corner. So I love the idea of you plugging into a local church.
Yeah. So hang on, Kelly will pick up, and we're going to get you signed up for Financial Peace University online so you can go through the class and get in the Every Dollar app. That'll help you manage the money as you increase your income from child support and from a changed career. You'll be able to manage that because your income is getting ready to double or triple by the time we finish with all these things here. Should anyway. And so we got to get you to 34, maybe to 45,000 by the time all the smoke clears on this. And you've also got to investigate, what your medical insurance situation is for the labor and delivery, and start preparing for that as well. But we'll walk with you. We're here in your corner. If you get scared and you need some more help, you call us anytime, hon. Wow.
Let's go to Cameron next in Tampa, Florida. Cameron, how can we help?
Howdy. So I'm basically just going to explain my situation, and hopefully y'all can either knock me upside the head or, say you're doing good and here's some good advice.
Are we that aggressive, Ken?
Well, if he wants us to be, sure.
Okay,
sure.
You tell us what you want,
It's
Cameron.
his show, his call.
So currently I'm in the market for looking for a home, and basically the criteria that I have for a home is, I don't know if y'all are familiar with the term house hacking, but essentially you're going to live in one room, rent out the additional rooms, and it should be enough to cover the mortgage on the house. So I'm looking for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and the market is extremely aggressive. Most people are playing far above list. I've already put in offers with, 10,000 above list with a waived appraisal contingencies. Of course, they still fit the criteria that I listed out before. But is this a good plan? Is this something I should pursue further? Because basically the only way that I'm going to get a house at this point is to go way above over what the appraisal is going to be, and then have just extra money that's going to be given towards the loan, kind of that I won't be able to get a mortgage for. So I guess basically my question goes out is, how far should I extend myself out? I am debt free, and I do have plenty of money saved up for the house. But is this a good idea?
How much do you have saved?
So right now it's about $32,000, and that's just specifically set aside for buying a house.
And how much are these houses you're looking at?
My price range is anywhere from about $200 to $250.
Okay. So this house hacking idea, I do know about it, and it's done by a lot of the real estate investing gurus on TikTok, and they're all, pushing it. And I love that you're debt-free.
It makes me wary already.
It does. And I'm a fan of you buying the house that you can afford, regardless of who may or may not rent and who may or may not give you the money that you want.
Yeah. Can I jump in, George, before you give more financial advice? I just got to know. Why are you married, single? I need to understand, what's the purpose of buying something that you then turn around and rent 2 of the 3 bedrooms to somebody else? Is this straight investment play for you? And you're trying to, is that the deal? So that relationally, this isn't affecting your life?
No. So currently, I graduated last year from Texas and then moved to Tampa for work. I'm currently renting out an apartment. It's fairly expensive, and as I'm looking at real estate prices what rents are going for, it's only going up and up and up. The longer I hold on to money, the more it's going to be eaten away by inflation. Basically real estate's a pretty safe place to keep money, and so it's going to be basically, tackling the purpose of, I have a place to put my money that's safe, and I'll be able to, live for free, essentially, is kind of the hope.
There's no such thing as free, my man. 30%. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, I wish.
There's your first myth. You've been watching TikTok or these motivational morons that are standing by jets and taking pictures and duping people like you, and they're freaking you out and scaring you that keeping your money safe is somehow stupid. Inflation isn't going to continue at the crazy rate it is now. It's just not.
So, Cameron, let me give you some parameters that will help, because you have your own set. I'll tell you what I would do if I was in your shoes. I would save up 10 to 20% down. You have that, but I would do it on a 15-year fixed rate mortgage, and I want that payment to be no more than a quarter of your take-home pay, regardless of whoever rents. Look at that as gravy on top. And if you can afford a place like that, that's less than 25% of your take-home pay on the 15-year fix, you've got 10 to 20% down, ideally 20 or more to avoid that PMI, then I would say, hey, this is a great idea, man, which may mean you need to wait a few more months, save up a little more. And right now the market is crazy, and you're putting 10, 20 over asking. Do not waive inspections. Do not waive appraisals. That's how you get into a mess, and it goes from free to very expensive because you didn't look into all the issues. So don't rush into this. You're a young guy. You're sharp. You're doing great. But this may mean this is a 3-year journey for you instead of a tomorrow thing.
Mm-hmm.
Not what you wanted to hear, I'm sure.
Well, I mean, you're right. Then it's something that I was prepared for. That's kind of why I came on the call, is just, like I said, to get knocked upside the head if it was necessary.
Well, we're really not knocking you upside the head, because here's the deal. You're a really sharp guy, and you're debt-free, and you're young, and you've got enormous financial potential. I think what I'm hearing, Cameron, is that you're hearing some influences that make you feel like if you don't move this money and get it into real estate now, you're really blowing it, and that's simply not the case. George did a wonderful job of laying out what the risks are and what the myths are. So hang tight. Keep building. Keep hustling, man. Get more money and do it in a way that's stable and do it in a way that makes the most sense. You're fine. Stay the course.
I don't like mixing investment property with my primary residence.
Yeah.
It's got its place, but right now you got to focus on you, man. You'll do fine in life.
You already are. Doing incredible. Thank you so much for the call.
Kent is in Tampa. Hi, Kent. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave and George. Thank you so much for having me.
Sure. What's up?
Basically, I'm looking for permission to pursue my dreams. I'm a stage manager in live entertainment, mostly working in cruise ships, theme parks, and regional theaters. But ultimately, I want to work on Broadway musicals and national tours. But obviously, to do that, I have to live in New York. And that would be a significant increase in living expenses. And I just wanted to see if there was sort of a benchmark that you would suggest hitting before making that jump. I'm 25 years old. I have no debt. I have a fully funded, actually an overfunded emergency fund. But moving to New York would basically take out all of the margin. I could make it work, but it would take out all of the margin, but it would also open up a lot more earning potential. So I just wanted to get your thoughts. I know it would be risky, but I just want to make sure it's not stupid. And I figured if anyone is going to be willing to tell me that it's stupid, it would be Dave Ramsey.
Well, Ken, you've done a great job so far. This is not the riskiest move you could make at 25 years old with no debt in an emergency fund that is overfunded. So you're going to be okay. This sounds like this is your dream. This is what you want to do. And so I'm making the move. Now, you want to do it with some wisdom. Can you line up a job there? Or is this one of those show up, do whatever it takes, work at a coffee shop, and try to make this dream happen?
It's closer to that. I have a pretty good network, so I feel like it would definitely, when something becomes available, I would have people that I could reach out to. But it's sort of a you have to be there in order to get the job kind of thing.
Mm.
Can you set your life up to where you'd be there in 20 minutes? I mean, you can get from Tampa to New York in an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Tampa to New York City?
Well,
Tampa,
I mean,
Florida?
you can jump on an airplane and get up there in a couple hours, okay? So
yeah,
I mean,
that's true.
It's not like you, I think you start working your network and you get something lined up, and if they want you to come up there and interview one day, fly up there and interview. And when you land the job, then make the move. I might stay in Tampa till I keep my lifestyle costs way down, because your cost of living there is probably 70 cents on the dollar or what it is in Manhattan.
Yeah, at least.
I mean, a rent is more than that, but the rest of the cost of living is probably 70 cents on the dollar. So, and you know, if you could, and you've got work there that's not a coffee shop, right? I don't care. I'm with Georgia. Go do it if you want to go do it. The way to lower the risk one more time is to get a whole bunch of stuff almost dripping out of the end of the pipeline and then make the move then. Right now, it sounds like you're just going up there hoping you can fill the pipeline.
Yeah, I don't know if it would make a difference in what you would suggest, but a lot of the work that I do takes me out of town, and they provide housing and everything. So a lot of the work that I currently am doing, I could still continue to do in New York. It just wouldn't necessarily be jobs that are in New York, if that makes sense.
Yeah, okay. All right. So you could keep working while your a lot of your current gigs while you look for the New York break.
Yes.
So the only difference here is just the relocation.
Precisely, yeah.
Definitely doing that. Head on, baby. Do it.
Great. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
And if you reach the point that you're going in debt to keep your dream alive and you're getting ready to turn your dream into a nightmare, move back.
Oh, for sure.
But, you know, the trick is you've got the margin here, and you've learned how to look at this with a critical eye, which you already did before you called us. Brittany is with us in Johnson City, Tennessee. Hi, Brittany. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Dave?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Okay, so my husband and I got FPU for our wedding, and we didn't get to the insurance part before we purchased our life insurance, and we got part permanent and part term. And, of course, we watched the insurance part last night, and we just got the life insurance about a week ago. So I texted our financial advisor and said we immediately wanted to get rid of the permanent and just have term. And he said, Dave Ramsey is talking about whole life permanent insurance, not portfolio-based permanent insurance, which is what you have. So is it still bad? Should we still just get the term?
Yeah, apparently he doesn't know much about Dave Ramsey. Okay, Dave Ramsey does not ever invest. I was real clear in the lesson. You heard me.
Yeah.
I never tell you under any circumstances to use life insurance as an investment vehicle. 100% of the time it sucks.
So would you say, because what we told him we wanted to do is...
I would say you need a new financial advisor.
Okay.
That's what I would say. You don't have a financial advisor. You have a life insurance salesman.
Okay.
is selling you insurance.
So what we were thinking we should do is switch to $400,000 just of term each, and then the money because it was like $300 a month, which is a lot.
Yeah.
And just go ahead and open up our Roth IRA and start getting money into that instead.
Into good mutual funds.
Okay.
That's exactly what you learned in class, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So you already knew what Dave Ramsey said.
Yeah, he just
Which tells me one of two things.
That.
Either this guy's a liar or he's ignorant.
Right.
He's a family friend, isn't he?
Actually, one of our friends just apparently gave him our number because they use him for it as well.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know which it is. I mean, I don't know. But I do know that I have never in my life told someone to buy life insurance as an investment under any brand, heading, name, or description, ever.
Right. And the last thing is on our term policy. On your class, you said, 20 years, 30 years, whatever was fine. Mm-hmm. And our term policy was until we were 80 with him.
Okay. Why don't you jump on XanderInsurance.com and see what you can buy a 20-year level term policy for? I think it's going to blow your mind how much this guy's overcharged you for everything he sold you. Okay. And you're probably going to end up just canceling everything with him. So this guy really needs a good firing.
Okay. That sounds like what we're going to do in the end of this week.
All right. Thank you for calling in. And when you compare the prices, you'll see what I'm talking about. And you understood the lesson when we were talking about using life insurance as an investment vehicle. And the reason is, folks, for those of you that haven't seen the Financial Peace University lesson or never for some reason heard Dave Ramsey talk about this, in case someone else ever brings this up, because it does come up periodically, the people who sell investment-based or whole life or permanent life or portfolio or universal or anything where there's an investment going into insurance are not happy with me. They don't like me. And so they generally try to ignore me or lie about me or something else because I pretty much cost them all a bunch of business because they sell crap. Crap in a bag. That's what it is. Okay? It's pretty simple. So here's the thing. When you use life insurance as an investment vehicle, A, you get a bad rate of return. Regardless of what they quote you, after they take all of their fees, which usually in the first 2 years is 100%, sometimes up to 4 years is 100% of what should have gone to the investment goes out in fees. Even after that, you're going to make 3, 4, 5% on your money, and you should have been in a good mutual fund making 10, 11, 12% on your money. And that's where you should be. When you die with cash value, permanent portfolio, universal, indexed universal life insurance, they pay only the face amount of the policy, not the extra money that you put into the investment. That money is gone. So you have a savings account that for the first several years, they keep all your money. After that, they give you a bad rate of return. And when you die, they keep it all. This is a bad savings account. It's a bad investment program. The life insurance products that give you the opportunity to pay 20 times more than you would pay for term insurance in order that you create an investment inside of the policy are basically the payday lender of the middle class. They're crap. And that's what Dave Ramsey has always said. For 25 years here on the air, I've said it. And for 25 years, it's all I have owned myself. I have never owned, while this show was operating, any kind of whole life or investment-based life insurance of any kind, ever. Now, I did get a horrible Northwestern Mutual whole life, grotesque, old school, one of the worst of the whole lives when I was in my early 20s. And it was the same way, Brittany. It was a guy my wife knew from college. came around selling right after we got married, and we bought this crap from him. I had it for about 9 months until I finally sat down with some guys who unpacked the numbers for me, and I about kicked my own butt when I saw how bad it was and got rid of it. And since then, I have never owned it. And since then, I've never told anyone to buy anything other than 15 to 20 year term life insurance, about 10 to 12 times your income on you. The best way to buy life insurance is through a broker that shops several companies. The best way to buy insurance of any kind is through a broker that shops several companies and gets you the best possible deal. Whether it's your car insurance, your homeowner's insurance, your long-term care insurance, your life insurance, your insurance of any kind. Let a broker shop among several companies and get you the best kinds of deal. And that's why we've endorsed for about 20 years Zander Insurance. Jeff Zander has become a personal friend of mine during that time. And I buy my personal life insurance from Zander. And I don't own Zander Insurance. I don't own any of it. That's the other lie that's always told about me. I would have a whole lot more money if I did own Zander Insurance, because Jeff has done rather well due to the Dave Ramsey endorsement. But the reason he's done well is he's got a very, very good system for getting you the best possible price on term life insurance. And it takes about like 13 seconds. And they don't sell your name to a list of people when you go on there either. So that's why I've endorsed them. It's real simple. It takes care of you guys, you the listener. And you need to get term life insurance. It doesn't cost that much. So just jump in there and do it. So, Brittany, thank you for calling in with that question and giving me the opportunity to clarify on that yet again. Yet again. Yes, you need life insurance. Oh, by the way, a broker, like even with your car insurance, jump on the get with the ELPs, the endorsed local providers, for your what we call P&C, property and casualty. That's your car and your homeowner's insurance. You can shop. Most people save $300 to $800 a year on their car and homeowners when you shop it among several companies, instead of using what we call a captive agent in the business. A captive agent can sell for one company, like a State Farm agent or a Nationwide agent, or Peyton Manning and Brad Paisley can sing to you agent. Was it Nationwide? That's Nationwide, isn't it? Yeah. But and they're both good guys. I like both of them. It's nothing to do with that. But you're paying for those guys when you use that insurance. It's built in. And neither one of those guys work cheap, I'll just tell you. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, click the subscribe button to get the latest content and check out these other great clips from the show. Elizabeth is with us. Elizabeth is in Pensacola, Florida. Merry Christmas, Elizabeth.
Merry Christmas, Dave. Thank you. And John, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. How can we help?
Okay, thank you. I've been in a relationship for coming up on 1 year with a man who's loving and devoted father to his 2 girls. And I also have a daughter. And we started off so wide open and hopeful. And we were discussing the possibility and dream of marriage and blending our families and how that could work. But little by little, issues regarding lots of things, including boundaries with the kids, have seemed to put a huge damper on our relationship. And due to his behavior or moods, my daughter's pretty much lost all respect for him and despises him now. And at this point, our relationship is unrecognizable from a year ago, since I've retreated to where I felt I wouldn't step on any toes out of deference and respect. But I'm also struggling with a feeling I should walk away, but also not wanting to abandon what we've tried to build.
How old is your daughter?
She's 13 and a half.
They're perfectly capable of causing entire countries to cave in.
They also 13-year-olds. I was just talking about this on my show earlier today. Their sonar for not safe is often much more in tune than ours are as adults, because like you just mentioned, you've got a fantasy You've come from heartbreak. You want the idea of a family, and you meet this guy, and right out of the gate, it's going to be awesome. And all of a sudden, the picture y'all paint together looks incredible. And then reality starts to open up over the last year, and you have enough strength and fortitude and grit and determination. I'm going to marry this guy. I don't care if he's the worst guy. I want that picture. And your 13-year-old saying, I'm not going to be around him because she's still in touch with, she hasn't lost that sense of herself yet. Here's my hard question for you. It sounds like you've already broken up with him. You haven't broken up the fantasy.
Yeah, because I just like, and John, on your recommendation, I bought that book, Facing Love Addiction, by Tia Melody, and I'm trying to look at myself and say, is this just, but I love him and care about him so much, and it's just hard to let go because
both of those things can be true at the same time. You can love somebody deeply and they're not the right person to connect, to hitch your wagon to for the rest of your life. You can break up with somebody and be devastated and it still be the right thing to do. Those things aren't mutually exclusive. And I'm not telling you to dump him. I would never tell somebody to do that unless there's abuse or something. So I'm not telling you got to leave him. What I'm just holding up a mirror to what you just told me and Dave is you're done with this relationship. You're not done with the idea of what could have been.
Which bucket, your 13-year-old doesn't want anything to do with him. She's lost all respect for him. Is it because he called her out on her stuff and no one has lately and she's a little 13-year-old butt? Or is it because she's seeing stuff that is right?
It's a little both, but she's got an incredible sense about people, and I've always, tried to tell her, hey,
why does she not respect him? What exactly?
He gets kind of moody, and she thinks that he's not acting like mature, and I agree. There's times where he gets like triggered by things, and he'll kind of act moody or hurt or something, and it's like I think she's looking just like I am for that leader, and I've got the compassion to try to like, oh, I'll work with him, and she's just like, nah, she's
when you
like,
say moody, is it that Sunday afternoon dad, just that there's a bear over there on the couch watching football, you better not talk to him or touch him? Or is he ugly? Does he say ugly things? Does he ignore people? What do you mean? Be specific about the behaviors.
So like, for instance, sometimes, even specifically towards her, like he kind of didn't give her the benefit of the doubt for something, let's say. And, and he kind of acted like she wasn't, acting right when she was just being a normal kid, or also, just the way that she's seen him interact with, because he's got a daughter too that's her age. And so, I'm sure they chat, and so just seeing how sometimes he reacts to her and then the daughter's reaction to that, I didn't even go into some things that she's seen that I also wasn't okay with over at his place, where just there's some family dynamics there that I'm not like. Things happen.
Let me put this in. Both you and him have been around the block, meaning y'all have been through heartbreak. Y'all have had other marriages before. You've had other relationships. Is there an opportunity for y'all to sit down with adult, like in a very adult conversation, almost like an accounting review, an audit, and just say, hey, this last year's been tough. Let's agree that we're gonna start acting different. We want this thing to work, and we're gonna both begin to or continue to invest in this thing, or we're gonna be heartbroken and it's gonna be hard, but let's choose to move on. Could you do that? Could you have that conversation and say some of your needs out loud?
Yeah, and I've been trying to, and it seems like he kind of like doesn't. I don't know if he's really very available to give me what I need, which also, and I even used some words I heard on your show, like I'm worth, being loved for who I am, or like I'm worth this. I have a lot to offer, and like I'm, and he's kind of like, I don't know. He just, I don't think he actually appreciates my worth, and I'm trying to, I don't know. I think maybe that's also part of it too.
You're done.
Yeah, I mean that's what you're telling us. You
just outlined somebody that's done.
And Dave, I want someone to treat me like how you treat Sharon. I want someone to treat me like how you treat Sheila. I want that, and I just
your daughter doesn't, because I would be dismissive of her if your household is kid centric and your kid thinks she's the all to be all and she's 13. I would be dismissive of her. So you really wouldn't want me.
I think but just like to feel like I'm on that pedestal, and I'm not like some diva.
No, not you, her.
Oh yeah. No,
you get to be on the pedestal. That's your job. The 13-year-old doesn't.
Right, and that's what I feel like. And I literally put my hand down on the ground. I was like, I feel like I'm down here, and like, let's say his, mom and his sister, and your mom and your sister are there.
Mama's in this. Whoa!
Hey, you should have left with
should have led with mama.
Led with mama, yeah. Hey, here's what I think is
run over
going
by
on
a reindeer.
Your body's gearing up for another breakup, and it remembers the last one, and it was painful and awful. So get some people in your life because you're about to enter into a hard season.
Yeah,
and
get some hot tea and 2 good friends.
We'll walk alongside you.
This one's done.
It'll be tough.
Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
So I'm 21. I'm about to be out of college this year. I have no debt. I paid it off as I went. But my girlfriend didn't, and she's going to have about $70,000. And every time I bring it up, she's just kind of like dismissive about it. And I don't really like want to pay off her debt in a way, you know what I mean? And I'm just not sure how to go about this in the future.
You should just break up with her, dude.
John,
I'm serious. I mean, because here's the thing: you're both going to bring crap into this relationship, both of you, and some of it you'll know right away, like $70,000 in debt. And if you're already thinking that's hers, and like, ugh, she's bringing this into this, and I don't want any part of it, like that's just down the road. You're going to run into, I want to raise kids like this, but this is how my dad did it. Ugh, or I don't want to live in this neighborhood or this house. Like you're just like if that's your first impulse is what about me, then you're not ready to get married yet. If she has $70,000,
I understand that.
Does that make sense? So if she has $70,000 of debt, and you're like, dude, I don't care what mountain I have to move. You're going to be like, I want you to be my wife, and I want to build a life with you. Like hell or high water, you and I are paying this stuff off together. Then awesome, you're off to the races. We would never tell you don't get married because of student loan debt. So when I say just break up with her, does that give you peace or does that make you mad?
A little bit of both. Like me and her have been together a while. It's not that I don't want to pay it off together. Like,
is it more because of her attitude?
I was more than happy. Yes, it's more of like she has she doesn't want to pay it. It seems like she wants me to pay it is kind of like what I'm getting at.
Okay, what's beneath that? Where else does that show up in your relationship?
Honestly, nowhere. Like she's a little unmotivated. Like she isn't really that ambitious. Like post out of college, she doesn't really want to do. She just kind of wants to do her thing, like live around the area and whatever. And I kind of been like, I did an internship like in another city, and I've been like, exploring career opportunities. But she just kind of seems like stuck where she is, and I just like her a lot, and I want to be with her, but it's just like such a weird thing.
I think y'all should explore that conversation.
Yeah, it's just like I try to go further, but she's just like not interested in like continuing that conversation. You know what I mean?
Beyond the money, though, Dave. Like, hey, this is kind of what I value in life. This is what gives me energy. This is how I'm wired and what I'm excited about, and trying new things and opportunities. And it feels like you're more just I don't know if that kind of life long term is something that you want to be a part of. So I think it's more of that conversation, because what that leads to is her motivation around anything in life, right? Money, career,
kids,
yeah,
cleanliness. How does the house look? Where do we live? And here's the if you ask me what my big fear for you all right now is, and I'm not judging you for this, I'm just calling it out. There's already a piece of you that feels like, well, I'm doing this and you're not doing that. Or to put it in nerd terms, you're already in the scorekeeping world.
Yeah, I can understand that. I just when I look at both of our situations, I think of everything I've done to get to where I am now. I've worked so hard to be debt free right now. And she just kind of took the shortcut, and it feels like, and I don't know, it just feels weird for me.
But here's the question. You're asking her to go back in time and sign up for values that you had before y'all started dating. And that's not fair. I hear that about sex. I hear that about money. I hear that about debt, about, well, I did all of this stuff and we just met and now we're doing this and I don't feel like they ... They didn't sign up for that set of values. The question is, will she agree to live a debt-free life moving forward with you? Because you say, that's the way I feel like our family will be the most safe moving into the 21st century. And if she says, I don't care, now y'all have a values issue and it's less about, do y'all have the same beliefs? Me and my wife have way different beliefs on all kind of stuff. But one of our core values is if one of us raises a flag and says, this is a huge deal to me, the other person says, well, I don't give a crap. I'm in. Yeah. And so if you're honest and say, this really is important to me, that we commit before we get married, I never want this family to be owned by a bank, by a car dealership, by whatever. And she's like, oh, I'm going to have a Tahoe. Then just know that y'all are going to have problems, like insurmountable problems because they're value problems.
Yeah, definitely.
Does that make sense? I hate to be the bearer of bad news, man. I feel like I just ruined your afternoon.
No, it's all good. I understand, man.
Yes. But I want you to also be very careful because you're not better than her. You just took a different...
Yeah, I'm not saying that.
I know. But that frustration builds up and that's how it comes out.
Yeah.
Is I've done all this and you haven't done anything, right? And so it's kind of like, okay, can we agree on values? But almost always those values conversations, brother, start with you sitting down saying, I'm scared about X, Y, and Z. It's important to me that our family never be owned by somebody. Are you in on that? That means we're going to have to sacrifice here. We're going to have to work really hard for 2 years after we get married to pay off your debts. And that means you're going to have to get a full-time job, all those kind of things. But it starts with you saying what you really feel. What do you think, Rachel?
Yeah. No, that's what I was going to say. I mean, this is like kind of a classic example. What we say on the show, a lot of people call in about a money issue. You know, she has student loan debt. I don't know if I want to marry her. It's not as much about the student loan debt. It's more about the values around the relationship. And because we get people that call here all the time, like, yeah, my wife has, $80,000 in student loan debt. I brought some credit card debt in and we're working to pay it off together. I mean, like it's a team effort there. And as you get into marriage, the less of a team you are and see each other as one and you're on each other's side, both of you, right? She's jumping into your boat, you're jumping into her. I mean, it's just this idea of like, you guys value the same thing together. It's not that life is necessarily easier, but there is a level of smoothness with that. I'm like, you're not running up against barriers constantly because of what you're desiring versus what she's desiring.
Yeah, the world will give you enough resistance.
Yes.
You can't be fighting your partner while you're also trying to take on the world. It has to be y'all two versus the world.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Otherwise, it just gets sideways really quick.
Yep. So, and it sounds like you guys have been dating a while, Dave, is what you said. And you guys are still young. And so maybe you started dating at 16 and you're a different person at 16 than 21. I mean, it's
heartbreaking, but it is.
Reality.
Rachel, like, man, on my show, on the other show that I'm a part of, I get this all the time. I chose to not drink in high school and college, and this person did. And so now, right?
Yeah,
and I always want people to go back and say, you can't judge somebody on values they didn't have before you met them.
Right.
The question is, can we unite right now?
Yes.
And if you can't get over that, then you're bringing baggage to the relationship.
Right. And I think it's always a balance in marriage too, and in relationships, is that, we always say opposites attract, right? It's like the old saying. And it is true. You're both going to have different levels of passion about different things. So it's not about becoming this like one individual person when you get married. You still are two individual people.
But you're in the same boat.
But that's it. Like it's like, but we're still moving in the exact same direction, right? Winston's still going to have 18 Excel sheets with stuff, out till we're 65, and I'm not going to know how to work them. Like that will always be the case, but we are still working towards the same goals. And so the way we go about those things is different, and our interests are different in life. But it doesn't conflict with the values of our home and how our family unit is being driven. And that's where it gets sticky. And if that's a red flag early, Dave, I mean,
yeah, it's
something to at least talk about. And and I'll give you guys this, not to like, I don't want to belittle you because you're young, but I'm like, y'all are still figuring this out. She's still figuring this out,
Yeah.
So have that conversation with her. But I would not break up with her because of the student loan debt. I would very much possibly break up if you guys cannot get to a set of values. And I would not take a step into engagement until those are consistent.
Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life.
Let's go to Jasmine in the NYC. What's up, Jasmine? How we doing?
Hi, guys. Thank you for taking my call.
Of course. What's up?
So I have a bit of a situation here. I just finished actually the Total Money Makeover book, and I'm in baby step 2. But I have a total of $15,000 in credit card debt. So it's not much, but when you think of my age and kind of how much I make, I really shouldn't be in this situation.
How old are you?
I'm 20.
How did you rack up $15,000 in credit card debt?
I got credit cards and I did not know how to spend correctly.
Do you have a bunch of cool stuff?
Yeah. I think I was in a situation where my parents got divorced and all that stuff, and I ended up being very, very independent. And I think that way to cope with a lot of my problems was to shop.
Okay.
So,
listen.
You're the first one to ever do that, Jasmine.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Jasmine, listen.
Yeah.
I talk to a lot of people, on my show, on this show, and coaching all over the country. Very few people who are 2-3 times your age have the level of insight you just displayed. The idea that, hey, when I am stressed, when I'm trying to figure out why my parents broke up, why my dad chose them over me, like when you can say, okay, this happens in my body, and then I just start shopping, if you can link those two together, which you've done, you are so far ahead of the game. Because now you know, okay, my body feels like this. When it does that, I'm going to create some alternative plans so that I don't hurt future Jasmine. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I want to give you some encouragement. You are way ahead of the game. Now he's got to figure out how to clean this mess up and get on the road, right?
So continue on, Jasmine. What's the question?
So I currently just transferred schools to a much cheaper school because I was paying way too much and I had student loans. I'm going into the school now, going into my junior year with no student loans. And I'm going to continue on with my next year with no student loans as well, God willing. But I still have to pay off my student loans that are for my old school. That's $12,000. I've been listening to a lot of your guys' podcasts and all that, and you guys always say, like, don't wait for the government, pay off your student loans. And my student loans are unable to be touched at the moment until June. Quote unquote, waiting for the government to make a decision. I don't want to gain more interest on everything. So I kind of just don't know really what to do in terms of the order of things. If I should be tackling my credit card debt or my student loans, I really just kind of don't know what to do.
So are the student loans broken up, or is it one giant $12,000 loan?
One giant $12,000. Well, it's broken up, unsub, but yeah, in total it's $12,000.
But you make individual payments on separate loans.
The provider that I have gives me an option to either do all or one by one.
Okay. So it sounds like they are separate loans. And so what I would do is just list every single individual balance out, smallest to largest, and ignore the interest rate. And you said you can't pay on them?
It's telling me that I don't have to until June.
You don't have to.
Because they want to
you have the ability to.
Yes, you can. And put your credit cards in there as well.
Okay, so just basically put my loans inside of my whole snowball.
Yes, wherever the credit cards fall in there. So if you have, it sounds like you've got multiple credit cards?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, just list them all out. They'll be commingled in there in the debt snowball. But if you list them out from smallest to largest and tackle each individual balance, you will feel the progress versus staring at a mountain of $12,000 and a mountain of $15,000. Because the smallest balance is probably a few $100, maybe $1,000.
Yeah.
And now we go, okay, I could pay off $1,000. And then you go, all right, the next biggest one's $2,000, but I freed up that payment. So I can roll that payment plus the margin I was throwing at it into the next one. And that is how the debt snowball has gotten so many people to debt freedom.
And don't be afraid to be as cheesy or as creative as you want to be. I was in my late 30s, maybe it was mid 30s. I don't remember. I was too old to be doing what I was doing. My wife and I were paying everything off, and we just created one of those construction paper chains that you tear off every time you hit a milestone. You pay off a credit card, or you pay off. You move that number from 20,000 to 19,000 to 18,000, and we hung it in our bedroom. Just so I have to see it every day. So get creative and just begin to knock these credit cards out and the student loans out one after the other, after the other, after the other, after the other.
What's your income, Jasmine?
Okay. I make $50K.
Awesome.
$50K? Doing
Way
what?
to go.
I'm a manager at a restaurant.
Okay.
Yes, I'm very blessed.
You can
decisions.
You can knock this out in a year. Right?
I hope so, yeah.
No, Jasmine. You could have your 21st birthday and owe nobody anything.
Okay.
Imagine that.
Thanks.
Just imagine that for a second.
Yes, I definitely do.
And then on the day after the night of your 21st birthday, your boss says, "Hey, you got to come in and work." You're like, "It's my 21st birthday. I took off 6 months ago." And he's like, "I don't care what you did. You're coming into work." And you can smile and be like, "No, I'm not." Because you will be free, right?
Yes. Thank you.
Awesome.
You got this,
Have you watched the FPU videos?
No, I haven't. I've been deciding if I want to do that or not.
We decided for you.
We got you. We're going to send you Financial Peace University because we're to welcome you to our gang. We're going to send it to you. Here's the deal. You got to watch them all. And if you're really cool, you can bring a couple of friends with you and start spreading this message with them too. But we'll send you, and we're going to go ahead and send you the Every Dollar app as well as a part of this package. And you can begin to learn to manage your money as you get better and better at budgeting and going through all of the lessons. So hang on the line here, and Jenna will hook you up with FPU.
Denisha's in Austin, Texas. Hi, Denisha. How are you? Hello? Denisha.
Hello?
Hi,
Hey,
Denisha. How are you?
Hi, I am fine. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Okay, so I have a little situation.
Anytime somebody starts a call with "okay" and have a situation, it's going to be great. Go for it.
Okay, so I I had a lot of credit card debt, a lot of it, and I'm in school, and I just got a new job. Very, very proud of my job because going to school for accounting, I've been presented a lot of opportunities, and it's been really great for me. So I'm pretty happy.
What are you calling about? You didn't call about that.
I'm sorry. No, I didn't call about that.
You're avoiding it. Yeah. What is it?
My spouse is very upset with me.
Why? What'd you do?
I just got my tax return, and I paid off all the credit cards.
And why is he upset that you're debt free?
Because we're broke, and he said, "Hey, we can just pay the minimums. So why in the world would you just pay the whole thing that way? Because we don't have a lot of money." So he's like, "You just use all of our tax return to pay all the credit card debt."
Okay. How long have you guys been married?
7 years.
How old are you?
30.
Okay.
Does he work?
He's disabled. He's fully disabled.
Okay.
What's the nature of his disability?
Bilateral amputee.
Okay. Wow. All right. And so he has disability income is all he has coming in?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. So the problem is not that you paid off the credit card debt or that you didn't pay off the credit card debt. The problem is that the two of you are not working together.
Yes, sir.
And so he should never be surprised by a money move you make because you should have both decided the money move together. You actually did the right thing in the wrong way.
Yes, sir.
That makes sense?
It does make sense.
So his opinion is wrong. His anger is right.
Yes, sir.
Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Why'd you feel like you had to go behind his back? Did you know what he was going to say?
I knew he was going to say that we shouldn't have done it because he said, we can just pay the minimums. That's all they ask for. And I said, but we're trying to get a house. We're in my dad's house. He wants us out. Yeah. Not because he doesn't like us here, but
because he wants you to be self-sustaining and have dignity.
Correct. So I'm trying to get us to that point. And so that's why.
Yeah.
It's hard, huh? Marriage is hard? Y'all struggling?
We're really struggling so bad.
I'm so sorry.
We have a disabled child who is in and out of the hospital as well.
Man.
So she's our blessing, but it's just hard in that way too. So
I've walked alongside folks in your situation. Tell me if I'm on the money or if I'm missing the boat here. That in many ways you are both a wife and a mother. You run the household, except when your disabled husband leans up and says, well, I want to be a part of this decision. So you're responsible for everything. You need to be out running and doing everything, except when I want to weigh in. Is that fair?
That's absolutely correct.
So you carry everything, including the quote-unquote bad decisions that you made on your own, which are supposed to be right. So here's what I really want you to do. Would your husband go talk to a marriage counselor with you?
I don't know. I don't know if he thinks that we're having a problem.
Okay. That tells me that you're not being honest with him. And I know that I don't want to dump it all on you because you may not be safe to be honest, but you got to. Because here's what I'm afraid is going to happen. You're going to get a new job, and you're going to make great money, and you're going to go meet coworkers who are going to light you up. They're going to love you, and they're going to fill gaps in your relationships, in a relational needs that you have that your husband hasn't been doing, or that y'all have gotten so far apart. And what's going to happen is you're going to make what you just did going behind his back, it's going to get worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And so I want you to find a place where we can start having open and direct conversations. Because like Dave said, you did the right thing with the money. You did it in the wrong way. And I don't want you to look up 5 years from now and your family's falling apart.
Yeah. His opinion was wrong, but his right to be in on the decision was right.
Yeah.
So the two of you need to start making all the decisions together all the time. And you need some practice at that. You don't have the muscles to do that, so you need to get with a good marriage counselor to help you develop that. And you do have a problem. You have a lot of problems, and you need to work on them.
Get right in the middle of them.
Interesting article this week in the Wall Street Journal. Workers get faster access to wages with new apps. Instant pay helps boost employee attendance, but can make savings harder to do. I don't know if you knew this or not, but people like Uber. Uber's the first place I saw it. You can get paid every day when you finish doing your Uber runs. Every day you click on the app, on the Uber app, and it pays you right then. That's a pretty cool thing, actually. Said Dave to himself when he first heard that, which I do think it's a cool thing. I did not think about it much as being a dangerous thing, because I thought, well, that's extra pay, it's extra work you're doing to get out of debt. You know, that's how, because we advertise for Uber for drivers, right? And I'm thinking it's a good idea. So the article reads like this. For more workers across America, every day is payday. Uber Technologies, Inc., McDonald's Corp., and Bloomin' Brands, Inc.'s Outback Steakhouses are among the many growing group of employers giving workers near instant access to their wages through payday apps. New tools that allow people to spend the money they just earned have provided some workers an alternative to short-term high-interest loans, say the technology startups offering the services. See, I think that's just bull. It's not an alternative. It is for some people. I mean, if you're really, really broke and you're dealing with payday lenders and you're doing that kind of stuff, yeah, this could keep you from doing that. But that wasn't what I thought of when I saw it. I thought you get the money faster so you could pay it on your debt faster. That's what I thought of. And a lot of people working Uber, a lot of people working stuff like McDonald's or Outback Steakhouse are that's their second job. I mean, I would wager to say most of them, it's their second job. So you don't find any traditional 40-hour workweek companies hardly doing this early pay by the day thing. But it's contract work, or it's a second job contract, or Uber's contract work, So, and so employers across the retail, restaurant, and service sectors are searching for inexpensive perks to attract and hold on to employees in the face of low unemployment. For workers, immediate access to cash can provide liquidity to cover emergency costs, but economists say it is unclear whether smaller, more frequent paychecks will help U.S. households that are under financial strain. Well, what kind of an economist are you if you can't figure that out? I mean, that's just dumber than rock. Listen, if your pay is low and you take your low pay once a day or you take it once a month, you still have low pay. You don't need an economist to figure that out. Their financial strain is not caused by how often their paychecks come. Their financial strain is caused by their low pay and their high expenditures. You don't need an economist to figure this out. Oh, my goodness. It's almost like a drug for employees, says Ed Shaw, the executive vice president of human resources for Casper's Company, which operates 54 McDonald's restaurants in Florida. Roughly 1,300 of the franchisors' workers have signed up to use a smartphone app, Instant Financial. Since Casper's began testing in April, workers have quickly taken to the service. Mr. Shaw says as demonstrated by the waves of angry phone calls he received from workers on the few occasions that the app experienced a glitch. Every day at 10 a.m., the app notifies users on how much they earned the previous workday, prompting them to decide if they want to deposit as much as half of that money into a debit card. Roughly 20% of employees accept the money every day, says Mr. Shaw, who has reviewed the aggregate usage data. Instant Financial costs employees nothing to use and instead charges the business owners a fee to operate the money disbursement service. Other apps have a revenue model that eats as much as $3 from a worker's daily paycheck. Now, let me tell you, that's a bad deal. If you have a daily paycheck that's low and you get $3 out of it, that could be 10% a day. I mean, that could be ridiculous. So daily payments could help some workers smooth out the financial volatility of a fluctuating work schedule. Many Americans remain on shaky financial footing with little to no savings years after the recession's end. That prompts some 12 million consumers to take out payday loans each year. Now, see, that's just a bunch of crap. Okay? Yes, there are many Americans that are struggling. Yes, there are still some people that don't earn like they should be earning. But the thing that prompts 12 million consumers to take out payday loans is not the fact that they're all broke because of their how often they get a paycheck. You know, they may be broke because they don't get a paycheck much. They may be broke because they mishandle the money. But the number of people that use payday lenders just because of the recession from 8-10 years ago, come on. No, you're not handling money or you're not making enough money. And both are hard to do, granted. But, I mean, we're not going to give you an excuse to go, that prompts, things are bad, so they use payday lenders. No, they use payday lenders so things are bad. Hello. And fixing how often someone is paid does not fix that. So, there's a premise running through this whole article that the poor working man can't make it. And so, this daily pay app is going to help him. And, he can't make it otherwise because how often he's paid is his problem. No, that's a bunch of crap. Okay? Listen, there's two sides to the equation, the income side and the outgo side. You got to work on both sides all the time. You got to get your income up and your outgo down all the time. And how often you're paid doesn't affect that. Okay? That doesn't run you into a payday lender. That doesn't do all this other stuff. However, that does not make me against a daily pay app. I don't mind the daily pay app. Unless you're just managing it, it's like beer money for the day. And I'm going to go drinking every night, right? I got to get my beer money, so I'm going to hit my payday app and go out every night. And I have no money because I'm drunk all the time. I mean, seriously, there's people that do this stuff. I have heard. I actually know a few. So there you go. And you can't live your, Dean Wormer from Animal House, you can't live your life drunk and stupid, son. So, so there's some of that going on here. And I would not suggest you use your payday, your early pay app or your payday app to get paid every day to do any of that. What I would tell you to do is use it when it's your extra job to pay more quickly onto your debts and more often onto your debts. And maybe you don't have to hit it every day, but you can control when you get paid. And I like that feature of it. I think that's nice. If the feature is allowing you to misbehave with money, then that's a bad idea. So 30 some odd years ago, I owned some low-income rental property that we collected the rent every Friday afternoon, weekly rental. and we got 25 to 30% more for those rental properties than we would have renting the same house monthly. But these were folk that could not make their money make it through the weekend because of their personal behavior patterns. And see, that's your thing. Your personal behavior patterns affect you, cause you to pay too much, cause you to waste money. So beware of these apps unless you're using them properly.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, click the subscribe button to get the latest content and check out these other great clips from the show.